Hi everyone, welcome to Let's Celebrate TV Live. I'm your host, Peter Lee. With me today, as always, it's the guy who makes all this happen. You know all the hats he wears. He's the director, producer, cameraman, tech guy, etc. He's also my husband. It's Phil Gordimer.
And from the basement studios and bar at LG Manor in Sewell, New Jersey, welcome. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you're watching us from, whether it's live or team replay.
All right, now normally we open with shaking a cocktail or opening a bottle of champagne, but today I thought I'd do it a little differently. I'm going to make a cocktail for you first. Today, because Easter is just a week away, we are making the Buzzed Bunny. It's a carrot martini. Check this out. We're going to start with, to make 2 drinks, I need 3 ounces of lemon vodka, 90 mils. From my big bottle of lemon vodka. All right. Next up is carrot juice. And to make 2 drinks, I'll need 4 ounces or 120 mils.
And the link to the Buzzed Bunny episode is in the video description of YouTube.
Look at that color. Now, orange juice is next. A little sweetness. The carrot juice is pretty sweet, but this gives it a nice balance and helps with the color. I just need 1 ounce, 30 mils. And finally, I'm going to add some simple syrup. 1 ounce, 30 mils. Now, why am I adding simple syrup? You're probably wondering, all this sweet stuff. The syrup is going to help the juice and the alcohol stay combined. Otherwise, they'll just separate out as it sits, and it's not very nice. So the syrup helps keep it amalgamated. Is that the right definition, dear?
That is correct. Otherwise, it looks like a flood zone where everything settles to the bottom.
Yep. All right. Now, it's time for the shaky shaky. Ooh. Okay, I'm going to double strain this. So I don't want those pesky little ice crystals diluting my drink. Now look at that color. How else do you get a cocktail that color? Maybe with mango. All right, and I'm going to garnish this with little carrots, but I'm using a red carrot because I happen to find some rainbow carrots. And we're just going to do a little twist right in. If you wanted to, you could do a slice, like a little, instead of an olive, a little slice of carrot in there as well. And they float, so it looks like a little eyeball. All right, dear, do you want to come over and... Here you go.
And this is healthy. It's
yes,
veggies
it's
and
carrots.
vodka. It's surprisingly not sweet.
Yeah.
Maybe a fraction less orange juice. It's covering up the carrot hair.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Okay, let me clear the decks. And
Because, a cocktail while I push buttons is fun.
I think you have PSAs, so you want to go on camera?
Give me a second.
All right.
So yes, we do have a PSA, public service announcement for this channel. Is next Sunday in the U.S. is Easter for most people. Even though we are not big religious people, we want you to be with your families Therefore, we will not be doing a live stream next Sunday, which is the 20th. We'll be back on the 27th, and later on in the show, we'll tell you what that is going to be about.
Back to me, Bob.
Back to you. While you do that, though, let me just check in, see who's here.
Yep.
We got Keith in from Pottstown.
Hi, Keith.
And Richard's in from West Orange.
Hey, Richard.
Oh, it's sunny up there. It's miserable down here.
It's actually sunny. It's cold, though.
Okay. And it looks like Doug and Arnie are mowing the lawn. And
right.
Ben's in.
Hey, Ben.
71. Wow.
Nice.
And Janet is in Rhode Island. It's like, no. It's cold. And let's see. Okay, we got Kelly and Paul in.
Hey, excellent. Hi, guys.
And R.A. from Calgary.
Hey, all right. Hey, Rob.
Of course, we can never forget Suzanne from Florida Space Coast. They're not blowing up anything lately down there, so.
Well, not that we know of. Anyone else?
That's it for the
For
moment.
now. Okay. There will be more people in, I'm sure. Mm-hmm. All right, so it's all about leftovers today, a leftover remix. Now, we did a leftover show about 2-3 years ago, and we thought, let's do it again. It was fun. So here we are. So we've had our cocktail. What's that? System update?
No, something else.
Okay. The tech world.
Suzanne said it blew up in Texas instead.
Okay. All right, so let's talk about leftovers. It seems like people either love them or hate them. I'm kind of in both camps, honestly. Sometimes I like them. Sometimes not so much. But you know, there are people out there who live for leftovers. They just love them. They will cook on a Sunday and then eat the leftovers all week. I get a little tired of that. We've done that a few times. Oh, there's Hank. Heavy overcast in 84. Okay. Before we know it, he'll be like, oh, it's 120 here.
And let's preface something. For us, we are not normally leftover people because A, we eat very late. We eat at 8 or 9 o'clock every night. And B, we typically only cook just enough for the two of us.
Yeah.
So there's barely leftovers. But you never
Sometimes
know.
it happens. Like, we've been doing a lot of recipe testing, so I have had a lot of leftover stuff in the house today, lately this week. So that's what we're going to be cooking with today. Some things, though, I think are better as leftovers. Like lasagna is one thing. On the rare occasion, maybe once a year, that I actually make a lasagna from scratch, I'll make it and then serve it the next day. Because I want it to sit overnight and set up and have all those flavors marry and then heat it up. Dixie, what exactly is a leftover? Well, you know, that's a good question, because to me, leftovers are not only leftover food that you've cooked and wrapped up, that because you didn't eat it and you put it in the fridge, but it's also, you know, it's those other things that are hanging out in your fridge or your pantry, like that you bought a head of celery because you needed one stalk, and then what are you doing with the rest of it? You hardly ever eat it. It's sitting there wilting, things like that. What?
Oh, God.
We don't have them, so is opposite of right side up. We rarely have them too. But, you know, Dixie, you never know.
That's like saying there's leftover wine. What do you do with leftover wine in the
You're like,
bottle?
what the hell is leftover wine? Though we've had that. Anyway, so then there are those other people that hate leftovers, just absolutely can't stand them. And my sister's one of them, and that's because we ate leftovers a lot as kids, because we grew up in a big family. My mom had to stretch $1, so she always overcooked, and then we ate it a lot. So leftovers aren't my favorite either. Some things I don't like at all. Okay, yeah, tell us in chat, what's your favorite leftover or leftover creation? But to me, too, some things just don't make good leftovers. Like, my mom was guilty for, on Sunday, she would make, you know, like 10, 12 pounds of mashed potatoes. And then they would get reheated every single night. And like, ugh. You know, so the things that get reheated multiple times, not so much for me. Fish, leftover fish, depending on the kind, not so much. Like, we've been experimenting with a stuffed flounder recipe, and we have a lot of stuffed flounder upstairs that we have to either eat or...
We have eaten so much flounder in the last 4 days in this recipe testing.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, last night we were like, we're having a steak. I don't care. We're having steak, period. But let's do some cooking, shall we? What do you think, dear? Shall we cook?
Yep, let me
right.
just pop this one up. Emma has a comment about the drink.
Interesting. I might make a mocktail and substitute the lemon vodka to a lemon juice. Yeah, you probably...
I would say lemonade.
Lemonade.
Yeah, not lemon juice. It would be so bitter.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. We could do this as a mocktail. That's a great idea, Em. We'll have to remember that, dear.
All right, so let's see.
Let me put this over here. All right. I got some stuff here. At today's prices, I need ways to use leftovers. All right. I have all this, mostly, 90% of it, is leftover. I have rotisserie chicken. We never get rotisserie chickens, and I don't even know why, but we were at the store, went, oh, let's get a rotisserie chicken, and then we kind of picked at it and went, this is boring. We eat so much chicken. Why do we buy it? So it's been hanging out in the fridge. Then, I've got all these vegetables here. Thank you. Onion, celery, broccoli, scallions, some leftover rice, some red carrots.
Well, and to quantify that, we also consider leftovers when you have a lot of fruits and vegetables that have been in the fridge and they are about to go bad.
Right, that's what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
Earlier, you have that head of celery, you used one stalk and now it's sitting there wilting. What do you do with it? It's been in there for 2 weeks. You got to use it soon. And that's what all of this is. So I'm going to get my pan going. Now normally, and I forgot to get it out, but normally you would do a stir fry and a wok. Certain foods I like as leftovers, some I don't like as leftovers. Yeah, Janet, me too. Some are really good and others like, nope, don't want it. Now, here's a little funny thing. Behind me, I have several of these little butane canisters that are, a quarter full, maybe half full, because sometimes we'll change them when we know we need to use this a lot, and then they just kind of hang out. So today, I'm going to try and use some of these up. So hopefully, like, the one on here now is almost empty. Just like last week's stream at Midnight Munchies, give me my leftover pizza. Sure. Anyway, I'm going to do a stir fry. You don't have to have a wok, but you can.
Well, that's because your carbon steel wok is so big and heavy.
It won't fit on here, yeah. And I don't have the butane to get it to go high enough. So I'm going to do oil. That much. I'm going to start putting some of this stuff in. I'm going to start with the onions and the celery and the carrots. And I'm not worried that... Oh, it's starting to sizzle. Yeah. There we go. Because these are all things that are going to take a few minutes to cook. Now normally when you're doing a stir fry, it's very, very high heat. But there's a practical limit of what I can do down here in the basement.
All right, so let's see. We got lots of stuff coming in.
All right, so let's get this going.
So Ben likes leftover, I don't know what that word is, chili.
Chilaquiles or leftover chicken divan. Yeah.
All right. And Suzanne is spaghetti no mushrooms with beans and chili powder. It's chili's second or third day.
Okay.
And Em says leftover spaghetti often reheated in a pan with extra fats to help coat more already overboiled noodles and the little amount of sauce.
Yeah. Yeah, spaghetti is one of those things that I think does make good for good leftovers.
We make sheet pan chicken a lot, so this one makes sense.
Yeah. All right, I'm just going to kind of manhandle this. Start to get some of this meat off of here. Just like that. I'll just use the breasts. I won't go crazy picking through this. Snackies for later, dear.
I was going to say, that little piece, I could do that right now. Just saying.
Yeah, well, it's over here. Just saying.
Wow.
I know, I'm so mean.
You are. Oh, this one's fun.
What? I like making what's in the fridge breakfast hash. Okay, sure. All right, I'm going to put my broccoli in. This is leftover broccoli from an episode that we filmed yesterday that I'll tell you about a little later. But had a lot of leftover broccoli. So let's use some. It's smelling good. How are we doing? Okay, we're good.
Kelly says lots of soups are better the second or third day.
Oh, absolutely. And quite often when I use stuff like this, I will make a soup. But Phil had the idea to do a stir fry, which I think was a very good idea.
Once in a while.
All right, I'm just going to kind of cube this up, roughly. This is not a time when you need to have perfect chef quality knife skills. All right.
My mom made garbage soup from any
Any
leftovers. That was...
Everyone's mom did that.
Yeah, I think my kids are having
We never
panic
called it.
attacks about that.
We never called it garbage, though.
They did.
Well, no, in a way, anyway, I'm not going to go there. Put the rest of this in, just some scallions. I'm going to add my garlic now. Up close. I always have garlic laying around. And you know, when you're cooking with leftovers, a great way is to mix in some of those pantry staples that you have. Now, this is frozen ginger. It's get in the freezer section, little bubble packs. I didn't have any fresh ginger, but I always keep this around, and it's great. So this is like 2 teaspoons. Just as good as the fresh. All right.
Oh, there we go.
Leftover taco meat this morning for a quick taco hash for breakfast. I thought about doing something like that.
Oh, and actually this guy's just reminded me, since they're there, a little note break. Our friends over at PTV are on another live stream tonight. So let me show that off. They're going to be on the Christmas Summit podcast at 7 p.m. tonight, Eastern for Pacific, and I will drop a link to that so you can go check them out tonight.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Okay, I'm going to move my vegetables over.
Oops, hold on. There you go.
All right.
Back to you.
I'm going to make a little hot
Drop
spot.
that.
I'm going to drop in some leftover rice that we had when we got Chinese takeaway the other night. Normally we would chuck this, but we went, oh, we could probably use it on a leftover show. I'm going to give that a little splash of stock. Again, this was opened, sitting in the fridge, time to use it. Just because, you know, this rice tends to get kind of dry. Do you like garlic paste or fresh? I like both, and I use both.
You've also used the frozen garlic cubes, too.
Yes. All right. I'm going to pop a lid on this for just a minute to give that rice a moment. Turn it down.
Oh, yeah. I know this well.
Go to buy a to-go from a local Mexican restaurant. They often bring chips and salsa, which I turn into breakfast nachos. Oh, yeah. That's a great idea. One of the diners that we went to recently had breakfast nachos. And we said, next time or breakfast
Isn't
tacos.
that Kevin and Emily when they go to the Harrison house?
Yeah, I think it was the Legacy had something like that too. All right, I'm going to mix this about.
So let me get my fingers here.
And now I'm going to add some chicken.
And I have to adjust that super sauce.
That's okay.
And by the way, would someone just let us know in chat how it sounds? We have a new microphone up out of the view for Peter that B&H has sent us, thank you, at no charge for us to try. So we're kind of curious. In my headset, it sounds okay, but let me know. Mine is the same. His is different.
All right, I'll put a lid on that and just let it all get warm.
All right, Kelly says we found grated ginger in the jar on the shelf at the supermarket, which is also good.
Sure. I've not seen that. I'll have to look for that. I use ginger a lot.
All right, Janet says it sounds good, and so does R.A. Yep.
All right, very good.
We'll see how it comes out on our Wednesday episode, because that's the first episode that we recorded with the new microphone.
Yep.
It's very nice to have a big sponsor like B&H.
You're going to hit a fish sauce too, just to add a little umami. All right, let me get a plate so you can try this, dear.
Hold on, while you're doing that, someone's asked, what's your least favorite thing to use as a leftover?
Fish, really. There are some things like salmon will hold for a day or two in the fridge, but like the flounder, shellfish, mollusks, mussels, clams, things like that, not so much. Maybe shrimp we could hang a day after it's cooked. And of course, mashed potatoes. Too many years of potatoes being heated and heated and heated. All right.
Ooh, that sounds like fun.
2-inch pieces of ginger and a jar of sherry in the fridge. Wow, what kind of sherry? Like a dry sherry?
Please don't say cooking sherry.
Okay, this will do. For a quick throw together. It's not terrible.
This one's fun.
Okay. As a starving college kid, I existed on leftovers, or should I say other people's leftovers. I couldn't cook then. Yeah, I remember those days.
Would have been more fun on the wok. No, that burner will get hot. Remember, we bought this as wok capable. So.
Well, I know, but we also don't have the butane. I think it would be required. Plus, down here, I don't know that I'd want the smoke that the wok would produce. Okay.
He loves his low sodium soy sauce so much he can chug it from the bottle.
I could. I really could.
All right. Get rid of this. Hold on. I'm coming.
Okay.
I'm coming. Gotta suck it in before I walk around the corner.
Is your fork and nappy?
I hate buying clothes, and that's what I did yesterday because I've kind of lost so much weight, nothing fits. But now I got the opposite problem. So it's like, ugh.
There.
Ooh, hot.
Well.
Ooh, the rice picked up the broth. Good. This works.
So here we go. Great way to use up some leftovers and transform it. You put that back there. Let me clean up a little bit, because
Oh,
I don't know
it's
why.
about that time anyway.
Oh, so it is. Good.
Give me a second, and then you can go do what you do.
Very good.
All right, hold on. Let me get a couple screens ready, and then,
Dun, dun.
and then,
And then.
again, as everyone knows, we are a big champion of other small YouTube channels that do stuff similar to us. So today, I want to introduce you to Dinners with Donna. Donna Jaworski, she's down in Rhode Island. And she's kind of been doing this for quite a while, and she's quite busy at what she does. As a matter of fact, she loves to cook and collect Disney pins. And she does videos and live streams. And lately, she's been on a mission testing a lot of the subscription box services. So she has things like her creative tasting, universal subscription boxes, all sorts of really kind of good stuff. Let me just mute this so it doesn't come out. And it's just a lot of fun. Now, she's kind of very active, and I mean very active. She has an Instagram channel. She is on X, formerly Twitter. She does have a Facebook group. Oops, I don't know why I've lost that, but oh, there we go. Just be advised, it's a private group, so you'll have to request admission, but she's also quite busy not only with her own channel. Donna is a very helpful person in a lot of other channels' live streams. She helps moderate chat, which is a big job. As someone who's sitting here pushing buttons that control 7 cameras and looking at 4 different live streams, I get it. She does a really good job of that. So welcome, Donna. And check out one of her videos, hit a like, hit a subscribe, but more importantly, leave a comment. Comments are one of the biggest drivers of traffic to new channels. And smaller channels have one advantage that big channels don't, and that is they can answer every single question. So now we've met Donna, let's see what the rest of our friends are doing.
Back to me?
Well, sort of.
Oh.
Quick correction. Ben just corrected me and he's right. Donna is in Orlando, Florida. I confused Donna with Janet Dwyer, which I knew that because I was going to mention to Donna that I used to work for Disney, but that's another whole story.
Yeah. Back in the day. All right, so we did a little cooking, right? We made some stir fry with some junk that was left over.
Congratulations, Janet.
I had to do that if I lost 6. Oh, excellent. Yay, that's awesome.
Ah, but Hank's got the right idea.
No leftover fish except clam chowder. Sure, absolutely. I mean, you know, it's a soup, stew. So yeah, that the next day is going to be a lot better. You know, I talked about some pantry staples. Leftovers go in my pasta sauce, or should I say Sunday gravy? Yeah, well, we don't say Sunday gravy in this house, but that's fine for you. When I do cook with leftovers, like I'm doing today, I did pull some of my pantry staples. Like I mentioned, you know, I always keep boxes of stock around, soy sauce, fish sauce, all those things. Even something silly, like I always have a package or 2 of puff pastry in the freezer. Why? You can make a pot pie from something. You can make it into an hors d'oeuvre. You can use it for dessert. So there's all kinds of things that I keep around like that. And even something as, you know, that common, like we probably all have cans of tomatoes in our pantries, right? Makes a great sauce, great into soups. again, you can combine it with stuff like this. But let's talk about transforming food into leftovers. And I really, this really made me go down a lot of rabbit holes this week as I was getting ready for it. And I thought, what can I make? How can you do it? What can you... and I went in every single direction all at once. So I broke it out like some breakfast items, right? What's a common breakfast item? Bacon. I know. Who has leftover bacon? Well, believe it or not, I often do. Not only is Phil not a fan, but when we have company, if we have a crowd that has stayed over or up at camp when I'm feeding them, I'll cook a pound or two of bacon. And then all of a sudden, there's a half a pound of bacon left and everyone's like, oh, I can't eat any more bacon. So what do you do with it? Well, the question is, what can't you do with it? You can add it to anything that's going to make it taste better. Besides just crumbling up on salads. What if you crumble it up and add it into some mashed potatoes, right? Mix it in with some pasta or some other vegetable. Like maybe you're not that fond of Brussels sprouts, but if you add some crumbled bacon into it and you roast it, all of a sudden you've got something really yummy. And using those, you think, oh, it's a breakfast item, but what other meal can you use it for? So you gotta think outside the box. Lunch items, right? I mean, soup is soup is soup, whether you eat it for lunch or dinner. I use leftover bacon in my salad on pizza too. Oh, sure, that's a great idea. On pizza, yep. Cold cuts. Now, I don't eat many cold cuts, but Phil loves them, so we always have a few pounds sitting in the fridge.
Ham.
And especially ham. And,
ham.
It's always like, this ham's been here for a little while. We've got to use it because cold cuts are too expensive to just...
And what did we have for breakfast this morning?
I know. So what did I do? I used it to make a ham and cheese omelet that we split. Bacon is wonderful on cheeseburgers. Absolutely, Ben. Who doesn't love a bacon cheeseburger?
And just remember, a calorie is a calorie is a calorie.
Correct.
That's all that matters.
Correct. No matter what time of day you eat them. So, that's what I like to do. I like to think about, don't like leftovers, always seem to eat when I was growing up. Yeah, if you came from a big family like I did, that was life. But I think about, what would you have uniquely for lunch, and then what could you do with it later? Let's say you had grilled cheese sandwiches for lunch, and you made too many for some reason. I don't know how one makes too many grilled cheese sandwiches, but it could be done. Maybe if you're cooking for a crowd and they didn't all get eaten. What do? You turn them into croutons and put them in a salad. Oh my goodness, grilled cheese crouton on a salad. Can you imagine? How good would that be? Then, of course, you think about, what do you have for dinner? And that's where most of these leftovers has come from. So then you think, well, when else during the day can I eat them? Do I have to eat steak just for dinner? No, why can't I have it in my omelet? Why can't I have steak and eggs? Why can't I have fried chicken and waffles, right? And that's what I'm going to cook next. Not fried chicken and waffles, but I'm going to make a wrap. Nice little segue there, huh? I have another pan here. This is its first time being used. It's brand new. This is a new non-stick pan, a different type of non-stick. So I'm going to get this going. Oh yeah, very good. I'm going to add a little oil in it. That's probably good. I love cooking on the fly. Salt. There it is. I love on these live streams that they can just look in these cabinets that I just have thrown stuff into nilly-willy.
Well, we
upstairs
don't
it's
have
all
the
very
luxury
organized.
of, cooking shows with producers that run in, scurry in, and clean things up.
No, that's
this
true.
is us.
That's true.
But the other side of that coin is, before we built the studio, it was upstairs in our regular kitchen.
Yeah.
So instead, you got to see the dirty dishes in the sink and everything else while we were doing it. So it is what it is.
So I have some leftover beef some of the steak from last night and some steak from a recipe we were testing earlier in the week that I just cut it all up into various sizes. I have some Swiss cheese. I got to use this up. Grilled cheese croutons sound fantastic. Yeah, Ben, they really are. I've made them, and it just blows your mind away. Because you're not expecting it. You're thinking, oh, I like croutons. They look good. And then, there's cheese in it.
And there might have been some anchovy croutons.
Oh, there might have been. I have a green bell pepper that I needed to use up, and some red onion that I really needed to use because they're kind of sitting there going, yeah, hello, we're wilting here. So let's get these in and get them sweating down. What does sweating mean? You might be asking. We're just going to gently saute it until they start to give off their liquids. Soften them, not necessarily brown them, but a little brown is okay, but it's a little slower process, a little lighter process. We'll hit them with some salt to help them, and why not some pepper too. Get all these flavors going. A little stirry stir. A tiny bit. And I'm going to put a lid on them to help speed up this process a little bit. So what else can you do with leftovers? I was talking about dinner leftovers and how you have to think outside the box. Oops, I think I just lost my, yes I did. Just lost my butane.
Well, isn't that perfect timing?
Yeah.
So, let's see what's going on.
Ready to spice up your style? Discover exclusive shirts, aprons, and accessories inspired by your favorite show. And every purchase supports the channel. Visit our store today at shop.letscelebrate.tv. And let's celebrate every meal in style.
And we're back. Almost. Okay.
Ah, live TV.
Yeah. Well, we're using leftovers, so there we go. Very good.
Mental note to go to Sam's to get more butane.
Yeah, tomorrow. Because we have more filming to do this week that it will require this guy, and yeah. Now, we're making this wrap out of leftover lunch and dinner items. Here's a lunch item, here's dinner items, some leftover stuff that was hanging out in my pantry. What about leftovers dessert? Can you make dessert out of leftovers? Interesting question, because most people think leftovers like, oh, from my dinner last night and there's mashed potatoes. I save up all the cooked vegetables and make a frittata or omelet with them. Okay, absolutely. That's a great way to use them. And I thought about doing that today too, but we had omelets for breakfast, and so I didn't want to eat that many eggs in one day.
Oh, this one's fun.
What? I don't think I'll be using leftovers. I like to think of it as scrap to scrumptious. That's pretty funny. Now, my mom, who raised 5 kids, was a big leftover person. Well, she had to be. But she would make desserts out of leftovers, leftover dessert stuff. So she had some quirky habits. So there's usually like an Entenmann's cake or something kicking around the house. You can turn anything into everything. Absolutely, Chatty. If you're creative, and that's, you gotta just be creative about it. And, oh my, that smells good. She was also good for always having a lot of fruit around. And one of the things that she would buy that none of us kids ever ate, we just didn't like them, was nectarines. And we'd also like, why do you keep buying nectarines? And then they sit there and rot. None of us like them. No one eats them. They would go shopping on Saturday. She would be getting nectarines. My dad would go, no one's going to eat them. Why are you buying them? But she was convinced that. But what she would do is she would take that fruit that was starting to get a little soft and start to go. And go, oh, well, I got a pound cake here. I've got some leftover cinnamon buns that no one's eating. For some reason, they're getting stale. She would toast them all in the oven. She would stew the nectarines or peaches, whatever it was. And she always had Cool Whip. I don't know why, but there was always Cool Whip in the fridge. So she would make kind of like a shortcake type of thing. Like instead of strawberry shortcake, it might be a toasted pound cake with stewed fruit on it and some Cool Whip. Or a cinnamon bun with some stewed fruit. So she was able to really not waste a lot of food that way. I am not so clever. Well, okay, I could be that clever, but I choose not to be. We don't really eat Entenmann's and things like that.
We are not dessert people.
No. All right, these are getting nice and soft. Give them another minute. I'm going to turn it down a little bit. And then I'm going to add some of the meat in. We had a party yesterday and have a big piece of leftover eye-round roast beef. What can I do with it? Oh, that's a great thing to have left over. Now, it can be tricky because if you reheat it, it's going to get tough and dry and icky and gray. But what you could do, grind it up, put it in your food processor, and you can use it to make a ragu for pasta. You could put it, I don't know, in tacos.
Cottage pie.
Cottage pie, right? Which is like shepherd's pie but made with beef. I personally would make it as put it in a ragu for pasta. Actually, I've done that. All right. Let's check them. Pretty good. Let's put in some of this.
That's perfect timing because I'm almost done with my plate.
Oh, good. So here's the thing, dear. I'm going to have to take that out because I need to use that pan to heat the burrito to make a wrap.
Or I could just get you of another pans.
Yeah, I know, but then we have a lot of dishes to do.
We have 2 dishwashers.
I know, dear. But I'm trying to be nice to you because doing the dishes is your job.
One of the smartest things we did when we built the TV studio down here is right behind me at the bar is a dishwasher.
Yep.
So between all the martini glasses and all the mess we make filming, a dishwasher down here was such a great idea.
All right. Cut the heat. Now, you could take these vegetables, you could brown the onions more, you could get them really, really soft. We tend to like our vegetables still a little al dente. And the meat, you really just want to heat through. You don't want it to get tough. Hopefully this didn't, but we'll find out. Come on, come on. Let's do it this way. Oh, I should present to the camera. Okay. Now, let me give this a wipe out. I know, there are people who are going, oh my God, you should never do that, that's unsanitary. Well, it's my house. So, no one knows. Now, I have some burritos from when I made wraps earlier this week. I want to get that warmed. Just on one side. Sort of toasty. And remember the Swiss cheese? I'm going to put a couple slices in. Why not? Or maybe one slice. Then, we'll put some of this in. Not too much, but enough. A little bit more onion and pepper. There we go. And then guess what? Let's be devils. Well, that's not a very good slice of cheese. I wonder if Lance and Ken are watching from Florida. Our friend Ken is obsessed with Swiss cheese. He loves it.
He eats a pound on a car ride.
Yeah. Ooh, hot, hot, hot. All right. Where's Where's my spatula? All right.
You gonna try to close it up?
I'm going to close it up. And then I'm going to put it back in and seal it, hopefully. Hopefully. Like that. Like that. Oh, yeah. Just like that. Right back on.
Okay, now we got two of them here.
Now
We
that
got
looks
Jen
delicious. Yeah.
And Ben.
I wish I had had some leftover salsa or something to mix in it, but I think the cheese and the steak will be really good. Just a minute to melt the cheese a little more and give it a little toasty toast.
And we can cut it in half and do an ooey gooey.
Yes. It's definitely going to be ooey gooey. So let me get rid of this. Get another plate.
All right, I got it. Just got a text asking me, where's all the kitties?
Kitties are around. One of our kitties, Preston, was here. You know, like as we're about to go live, he's sitting here yelling at me, meow, meow, meow. I don't know what he wanted. But, so, should we tell them about the problem last night?
Sure.
So, Kelly and Paul of Velveteen Kitchen, you sent us some lovely towels and a couple of your straws. We, foolishly, left the straws sitting out on the kitchen island. Because, the kitties never go up there. So I came down this morning and I noticed that the floor vent for the heater and air conditioner was ripped up out of the floor and halfway across the room. Like, what the hell is going on? And I went over and looked, and I see one of the yellow straws that you sent down. So I reached down and got it, and I put the vent back, and now I can't find the other one. And all the cats are going like, wasn't me. I'm cute. I'm Preston. Look how cute I am. Yeah. So it's the great straw caper of 2025.
You know it's going to show up, I think, because they're all pawing under the couch. That's where
Yeah,
it is.
so we're going to have to move the couch. All right, let's give this a cut.
Kelly says, we'll find it.
Yeah.
Hold on. There you go.
There we go. Ooh, ooey gooey. All right, dear.
Yay. And then, of course, I might have to have
Yeah.
a couple of other pieces of beef
Okay.
there, because
All right.
that's what I do.
Let's give it a try. Clink.
That's good. That's really good.
Wow.
The Swiss cheese and the red onion.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
here,
could
while you're there,
zhuzh it up a little bit with some wine.
oh, here we go.
There they are.
Show off the swag that we got from
Kelly and
Velveteen
Paul.
Kitchen.
They sent us these lovely towels. Oh, all right. In green, burgundy. I love them. And they're not going to be used here in the kitchen, only in the bar.
And you too can buy them when you go visit their Wednesday live streams.
Yes, you can. Wow, that's good. I'm drinking my water, and you're stuffing your face, so probably got not need dinner tonight, huh? All right. Oh, okay.
Well, you know, that just means we have to have,
Proper cocktails?
well, we've got to test a few more Manhattans.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then we got to schedule a Zoom call with
Yeah,
Velveteen
okay.
Kitchen so we can figure that episode out.
All right. So we kind of touched on this earlier. When is enough with leftovers? I think I've told this story before, but I'm going to tell it again. Oh, my wife turns leftovers into various types of pot pies, chicken, beef, etc. It's the only way kids will eat leftovers. That's really creative. And you could go, fish pot pies if you had like leftover salmon, cod maybe. But you could do pot pies. You could probably do like hand pie. Wow. Yeah, that's great. That's a great idea. Because sure, kids will like the pie crust or the pastry, and they don't care what's inside. Well, same about the least used leftover. Mine would be bagels. I so rarely make meals like breakfast bagels, and bagels sit forever. Yeah, we don't have them very often either. And then what else can you do with them? That's a tricky ingredient, especially leftover. I mean, you could turn them into chips or croutons, I guess, but or breadcrumbs, bagel crumbs. For me, enough is enough is when things have been reheated and reheated and reheated and reheated. Like I said, my mother used to do with potatoes. Now, my sister, when we were kids, we went up to New York to visit my grandparents, and she was, I don't know, maybe 13. And it was summertime. We went up for a long weekend. Saturday night, Grandma made a big dinner, and she made beets. We all like beets. There's some left over. So we left Sunday morning. My sister was going to stay for a whole week on her own. And when she got home the following week, she said, I will never eat beets ever again, because Grandma did not waste food. She was from that era. You know, she's born in the 1910, I think. So Sunday night, she made them dinner. She reheated the beets. Okay, my sister ate some beets. Monday night, Tuesday night, she kept reheating it. And if my sister or grandpa didn't eat them, okay, right back in the dish. Okay. And finally, by like Friday, my sister was like, look, I'm just going to eat. And she ate all the beets. And she said, I don't want to see him for a long time, because every single night there were beets. And my grandma was like, oh, no one's eating the beets. It's like, there's 3 of us here, Grandma. Like, you can eat the beets. All right, we are coming down towards the end of our time. It's 4:26, 4:27. So we'll talk about what's next.
So again, we will not be having a live stream next week. We want you to have great time with your family. If you're not religious, just have a good time anyway. We will sit and have a quiet afternoon with some cocktails, and hopefully it's warm enough on the porch. So our next live stream will be on the 27th.
The Battle of the Blades, Essential Knife Skills, which, again, this is a theme that I had no knowledge of until it was published. So I need to do some practicing. So I've got 2 weeks to practice and figure out how we're going to do an hour on knife skills. I guess we're doing some interesting cooking too. Beyond that, we have... What? I'll be playing the Easter Bunny, no joke.
And for those who are not familiar, Kelly is an actress in the New York area.
I was wishing that I could have had someone here today dressed as the Easter Bunny, besides my guy back here. But that would have been fun to have the Easter Bunny like coming with cocktails. That's strange. I only buy blueberry bagels to compliment against salty things, and I over cheese my bagel. Well, and you know, and that's something like a lot of people put like the barest bit of cream cheese on it. No, I'm from South Jersey. I want a schmear. I want, you know, a half a pound of cream cheese on each side. What else do we have coming up? We have this week's episode is a very interesting salad. I love Caesar salad. It is one of my all-time favorite things, but I get a little tired of the same old Caesar salad. So we have a new twist on it that's coming. I also have the notes. As we said, we have been working on stuffed flounder, crab stuffed flounder, or flounder stuffed with crab. And I think we finally got it, but I don't know how much more we can eat. And
we have probably spent $100 in crab right now.
We were gonna film it last night after we filmed the Caesar salad, and then I thought, okay, if I don't use all the crab, I'll have crab left over today. But when push came to shove, I looked at the ingredient and I thought, I can't do it. And it's a shame because we have to eat the flounder tonight because it's thawing in the fridge. So we'll see. Fortunately, flounder is cheap if it has turned on us, but we have that, and we have a lot of cocktails coming up too. All right, I think we are at almost 4:30 in like 8 seconds.
Think so. I'm just trying to scan through the chat to make sure I didn't miss anything.
Very good.
If you haven't, please take a moment and hop down and hit the like button because that really helps every single channel.
Yep.
And let's see what we got. And from us, Peter and Phil, and special thanks to our channel supporters, Hank and Lori and
Ryan, Carol,
oh, there we
Jill,
go.
Peggy,
Feed the
Robin.
fish to the felines.
Yes. There we go, Chatty, right?
Kevin, Hal, Gene, Wilma, Randy, ARH Road, and thank you, B&H, for loaning a microphone. And this was everyone today that has participated in chat.
That's great. Thank you all for joining us.
And we will see you
Thanks, Kelly.
in 2 weeks.
Yep.